Hey everyone, I am Nikki Nitz and I am the owner of Simmons Northwest and Simmons Midwest. My career started in the veterinary industry in 2006 when my then husband and I did a startup hospital. And through that process, I discovered that veterinarians generally don't have much business education or business knowledge. And so at the same time that we were operating our startup hospital and I was working full time in the trenches of that hospital, I started consulting other hospital owners on financial management and profitability improvement of their hospitals. That led me to getting into some wonderful relationships with people in our industry, different advisors and consultants. And through that process, I was introduced to Dr. Dave Gerber, who was the owner of Simmons Northwest at the time. And Dave was looking to retire and approached me with the opportunity to purchase Simmons Northwest, which I did in 2011. So that's when my appraisal and brokerage work started in our industry. Then in 2017, I was offered the opportunity to purchase Simmons Midwest, so I did that. So now I cover 2 different territories, a total of 13 states for Simmons. One of the questions that I receive frequently is from potential sellers, why hire Simmons? What can you do for us that we can't do for ourselves? And my first comment back is generally, we're experts at this. You're experts at spaying dogs. So if I get a new puppy, I'm going to bring my puppy to you to have it spayed because I don't know how to spay a dog. So why would you take one of your largest investments, if not your largest investment in your investment portfolio, and try and handle that sale on your own when you have no education or expertise in selling veterinary hospitals? A lot of sellers come to me and say, well, I've received a good offer. We probably don't need your services, but maybe what else could you do for us if we've already got an offer on the table? Well, my question back to you is, how do you know that's a good offer? What kind of expertise do you have in selling veterinary hospitals that would give you the knowledge to know if what you've received is a good offer or not? Well, here at Simmons, we've been around since 1977. Collectively, amongst all of us, we are the most experienced veterinary practice brokers, I think, in the world as a firm. And this is all we do. We help people buy and sell veterinary hospitals. We value veterinary hospitals, and we don't work in any other industry. We only work in the veterinary space. So I'm going to trust you with my puppy to have it spayed because that's your expertise. I'm not going to know if you did a good job or not. I hope that you will trust Simmons in selling one of your largest investments because we're going to take care of you, and we have that knowledge and expertise to make sure that you end up in a great position when it comes to selling your hospital. Now, so what are some of the specific benefits that we bring to you? First of all, we find you the buyer. And for a lot of people, that seems to be what they think that's all that us brokers do. And if you keep listening to me here, I'm going to explain more of what we do other than find the buyer. But how do we find the buyer? First of all, here at Simmons, we have a huge buyer database. This database is full of people that are looking for hospitals to purchase around the country, here in the United States and also in Canada. So a lot of our buyer inquiries when we put a new practice on the market come right from our Simmons database, which obviously nobody else in the industry has access to our database. When it comes to corporate purchasers here in the United States, there's over 40 corporate purchasers in the marketplace. I know there's a few less in Canada. However, we have regular contact with all of these corporate purchasers. We know the pros and the cons of all these corporate purchasers. We know the hospitals that they're looking for and the ones that don't fit with them. So those are, we have those contacts as far as if your hospital is a corporate target. We have our buyer database that's full of people, independent buyers that are looking to purchase hospitals. We are going to put together an amazing customized marketing package that showcases your hospital. Here in my office, this is generally a 15 to 20 page document, and it's beautifully created with pictures, information about your staff, your equipment, the demographics of the area, information about your hospital, obviously. And really, it's all the initial information a buyer wants to look at when analyzing if a practice is something that they want to pursue further as far as purchasing goes. So finding the buyer is step number one. Step number two is the negotiation process. Now here again, we're experts at this. This is what we do on a daily and weekly and monthly basis, is negotiate practice purchases and sales for buyers and sellers. You might think that price is the only thing that gets negotiated, and that's not true at all. Price obviously is very important, no doubt. But what is also important is, are you going to sign an employment agreement to work for the buyer? When it's an independent buyer, this sometimes happens, but not as regularly as if you're selling to a corporate buyer. If you're selling to a corporate buyer, generally they are going to make an employment agreement with the seller be a contingency on them purchasing the practice. So we're going to help you negotiate the terms of that employment agreement. We're going to help negotiate the lease or the real estate sale, depending on if you own the real estate and you want to sell it or you want to lease it. If it's a third-party lease, then that's between the buyer and the landlord. But if you own the real estate, the real estate purchase or lease also becomes a negotiated item. Finally, another big negotiated item is the non-compete agreement. What is appropriate for your area as far as the number of miles and the number of years that you will not be able to compete with the hospital that you're selling. So those are some of the key points that we help negotiate. Then we get into the closing. We have relationships with so many people, starting off with our Simmons team as a whole. We are made up of veterinarians, practice management consultants, and accountants. And again, we have so many years of experience in valuing and brokering hospitals that we can tap into each other if we run across a situation that we aren't sure what to do with or we haven't seen before. Someone else on our Simmons team probably has dealt with it, so we reach out to each other and help each other in that manner. We also have relationships with the veterinary lenders, the veterinary attorneys, accountants, insurance agents, wealth management advisors. We can point you in the direction to the people that know veterinary hospitals and transactions and have veterinary clients so that you can be served the best by people who know our industry. We will review all the legal documents. Now, most of us brokers are not attorneys, so we cannot draft the legal documents for you. You need to have a license as an attorney to be able to draft legal documents. But what we do for you is we work very, very closely with your attorney to make sure that the legal documents are proper for your transaction, and we are going to make sure, again, along with your attorney, that you're protected as best as we can protect you when it comes to the sale of your hospital. And finally, as brokers, sometimes the transaction gets stalled out. It could end up on an attorney's desk and the attorney's very, very busy and they just don't get to it. Or there could be some lending issues that are hurdles that are slowing down the process. So as brokers, we are holding the hands of everybody involved in the transaction all the way from start to finish, and we keep the transaction moving forward so that it doesn't get stalled out and the closing doesn't get delayed. So why should you hire Simmons to help you sell your veterinary hospital? A big part of it comes down to time. You're busy being a veterinarian, seeing patients and clients, which is what you're an expert at. We are experts at selling veterinary hospitals, and that's what we spend the majority of our time doing. Selling your hospital is one of the largest, if not the largest, financial transaction that you're going to have in your life. Why would you want to go at that with no expertise and no advisors helping you through that process? We're going to help you find a buyer. We're going to help you find hopefully the right buyer. We're going to help you negotiate through the offer process. And we're also going to help you hold your hand all the way from start to finish until that closing date comes. And then you and your family can enjoy the freedom that you will have after you've sold your hospital, and hopefully the financial outcomes of that as well. We want you and your family to rest assured knowing that you have hired a trusted advisor to help you with one of the largest transactions of your life. So give us a call today and we'll help you through the process.